Science fiction doesn't always get the details right, but when it does, it's worth noticing. These 6 films may stretch reality at times, yet they excel at capturing the essential scientific ideas that truly matter. Released before the first moon landing, 2001 A Space Odyssey remains one of the most realistic portrayals of space travel ever put on screen. Stanley Kubrick and Arthur C. Clarke worked with aerospace experts to make sure the science felt authentic, and it shows. In space, there's no sound, and the film captures that perfectly. Scenes outside the ship are completely silent, with only the sound of an astronaut's breathing inside the suit. The laws of motion are accurate too. Ships and pods move according to real physics, without flashy turns or roaring engines. The spacecraft itself is designed with logic and function in mind. Instead of sleek, aerodynamic shapes, it reflects how a real deep space vessel might be built, focused entirely on operating in zero gravity. The film shows different methods for adapting to weightlessness, including rotating sections for artificial gravity and ways to move around without floating away. Even the small details hold up. Crew members drink through straws, eat processed food, and deal with the boredom of long space travel. And many of the futuristic technologies shown in the film, which didn't exist in 1968, later became real. This is science fiction done right. Solaris earns its place not by showing detailed science, but by exploring the limits of what science, in people, can truly understand. Psychologist Chris Kelvin is sent to a space station orbiting the strange planet Solaris, tasked with figuring out why the crew has stopped communicating with Earth. What he finds is far from a typical sci-fi mystery. The crew is emotionally unstable, and soon Chris starts experiencing the same breakdown. After his first night on board, he wakes up to find his wife Rhea, who died by suicide years earlier, alive beside him. Solaris has somehow brought her back, using only Chris's memories. But is she truly Rhea, or just a version shaped by his flawed recollection? The planet itself offers no answers. It creates strange, shifting shapes across its surface, possibly alive, possibly not. The story, based on Stanislaw Lem's novel, centers on a powerful idea that alien life may be so fundamentally different, we might not even recognize it for what it is. And if we can't fully understand another human being, how could we ever hope to comprehend something like Solaris?
So you're telling me you can only give our guys 45 hours? That brings them to about there. Gentlemen, that's not acceptable.
Apollo 13 is a gripping retelling of the real-life 1970 lunar mission that never made it to the moon. Based on the book Lost Moon by astronaut Jim Lovell, the film follows Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Hayes as their routine flight turns into a life-or-death struggle after an explosion cripples their spacecraft. With oxygen and power rapidly depleting, the mission shifts from landing on the moon to simply bringing the crew home alive. Directed by Ron Howard and starring Tom Hanks, Kevin Bacon, and Bill Paxton, the film focuses on the teamwork, ingenuity, and calm under pressure that saved the astronauts' lives. When it comes to accuracy, Apollo 13 stands out. Experts have praised it for getting the technical details right, from the behavior of objects in zero gravity to the realistic depiction of the explosion that damaged the service module. Unlike many space films, it doesn't exaggerate the drama. The true story was intense enough on its own.
Here. Take it. If you're still interested, let me know.
I'm sorry the wind caught it.
Gatka presents a future where most children are conceived through IVF and selected using genetic screening to eliminate imperfections. As one doctor explains, this child is still you, simply the best of you. In this society, a person's genetic profile determines their place in life, and biometric ID systems constantly track genetic identity. The main character, Vincent, was conceived naturally. That makes him an invalid, born with a heart condition and poor eyesight. Denied access to meaningful work, he assumes the identity of a genetically superior but physically disabled man to chase his dream of space travel. While the film takes a dystopian approach, sometimes exaggerated, like a job interview based only on a urine sample, it raises serious questions about genetic determinism. Genes can reveal risk, but they don't offer certainty. Vincent's story challenges the idea that DNA alone defines potential. By exploring how much of our future is written in our genes, Gattaca remains one of the few films to seriously engage with the ethics and limitations of genetic science. In Moon, a lone worker named Sam is stationed on a lunar base, overseeing machines that mine helium-3 from the moon's surface. His 3-year contract is nearly up, and he's looking forward to returning home. But as strange events begin to unfold, Sam discovers that his mission and his identity may not be what he thought. While the story involves cloning, which remains outside current scientific capabilities, the rest of the film is impressively grounded in real science. The idea of harvesting helium-3 from the lunar regolith is based on real research. It's not abundant on Earth, but the moon's surface contains enough to spark serious interest as a potential energy source. The lunar base itself is built using moon dust mixed into concrete, something scientists actually call mooncrete. This method has been studied as a cost-effective way to construct buildings on the moon using local materials. The idea of a nearly automated mining operation managed by just one human is also rooted in real-world logic. Moon didn't make a huge splash when it was released, but it's one of the most quietly accurate and thoughtful sci-fi films in recent years. Interstellar is one of the most ambitious sci-fi films ever made, blending human drama with serious astrophysics. Set in a future where Earth is becoming uninhabitable, a NASA team travels through a wormhole in search of a new home for humanity. The film was developed with input from physicist Kip Thorne, and it shows. Concepts like time dilation near a black hole are depicted with rare accuracy. The visuals of the black hole, Gargantua, were even used in scientific papers after the film's release. Gravity, relativity, and the effects of deep space travel are all treated with respect. That said, not everything holds up. Scientists have pointed out that the intense radiation near a black hole would likely be fatal, something the film glosses over. The story also pushes into abstract territory, combining space and time in ways that can be hard to untangle. Still, Interstellar gets credit for bringing real scientific ideas to a mainstream audience, and doing it with ambition, style, and surprising accuracy.